In this video, we'll walk through how to create a Nearpod presentation that you can use during your asynchronous or live class. You have a couple of options for creating your presentations. You can work out in your Google Drive, or you can work here in your Nearpod dashboard. Let's work in our Nearpod dashboard. Click Lesson in Nearpod, and you'll see the option to create slides or upload slides. We'll go ahead and upload. I have a file on my desktop and I'm dragging it over to the upload area. And it's going to take it a little bit of time to process. We'll see a message in the lower right-hand corner. While that's processing, I'll go ahead and title my presentation. While that's processing, I'll go ahead and title my presentation. Okay, my slides are populating. They're selected. They have an orange outline around them. If I wanted to batch delete, I could hit delete right now and everything with an orange frame would be deleted. I'm just going to click away to deselect everything. It's a pretty large file, so it might take it another few seconds to process. But I'm going to go ahead and start working. So I would like to add interactivity to my lecture. I can also add some more interesting elements that are content. Okay, my slides are populating. So if I wanted to add a video, they have an orange outline around them. If I wanted to batch delete, I could hit delete right now, and everything between the slides to reveal deleted vertical. I'm just going to click away to deselect everything, and that allows me to add. It's a pretty large file, so it might take it. If I use the add slide button here, I'm going to go ahead and start working. I'll get a menu. I would like to add interactivity. It will give me the same options for content, and I can also add some more interesting elements that are content or activity tool slides. So if I wanted to add and then I'll need to move it up. So I prefer to click in between slides where I'd like to add the elements to reveal and go ahead and work from vertical blinking blue bar. So the first thing I'm going to do is allows me to add my video. If I use the add slide button here or add here, I'll get a menu that will give me the same options for content. I could also upload a video from my computer if I have one saved. However, it will add that content or activity tool slide to the very end of the presentation, and then I'll need to move embedded formative assessment. So I prefer to click. I click on that and then in between slides where I'd like to add the element. This is a content and go ahead and work from there. There's no action that the first thing I'm going to do is other than watching the video. A video about. Now, if I'm doing the video in class, I have the option while I'm facilitating this Nearpod session to pause the video on everyone's device and just project it from my device. So if I'm doing this in a live class, on my computer, if I have one from my device somewhere, so that we don't have 1,000 videos going at once in class. But if it's an asynchronous class, embedded formative at their own pace, then they can watch this on their own and control it themselves. This is a content tool. There's no action that the student will take. So here's my video. Other than watching the video on the slide that it's a video, and I've got a little bit of the title here, and you see I have the option while I'm facilitating this Nearpod session. So now my students will see this video, pause the video on everyone's device, and just project it into my device. So if I'm doing this in a live class, I'll project it from my device so that we don't have 1,000 videos going at once in class. But if it's an asynchronous class that students are working right next to the very last then they can watch this on their own and before we get too far into the presentation, I would like to add an activity called Collaborate. So here's my video. This is a virtual sticky note board slide that it's a video, and I've got a little bit of the title, and then they can like each other's responses that are posted up, and I can start to see trends. Will see this video, will watch this as like a hook to get us into the content, and then I may ask them a question to formatively assess their understanding of this topic. So I clicked right next to the very last slide in this row.
In the prompt,
Before we get too far into the presentation, I would like to add an activity called Collaborate and then click Save. This is a virtual sticky note board where students respond to a prompt and then they can like each other's prompt. I'll see the name of the activity that are posted up, and I can start to see trends and how at the bottom there and in this little pop-up. So I may ask them, if I click inside here, I can preview it. I'll highlight it in orange and then click preview. Here's what my students see. I can change the appearance of
assess your students.
Post-it note board. Someone may respond, and then click Save. Observation. And here's that Collaborate activity. So I'll see the name of the activity, and they could add an image. Appears at the bottom there, and in this little pop-up window. If I click inside here, I can preview it. You as the instructor have the ability to select moderated responses or non-moderated responses when you deploy this activity to your students. Here's what other students can come along and click that little heart.
Assess your
so
students.
If someone else uses observation and
someone may
share, they could click that, and you could see how many people agree with that type of formative assessment technique. When I want to exit the preview, I'll click this teeny tiny little X in the circle in the upper right-hand corner. And here we go. So the notes pop up. You as the instructor have the ability
when I'm done
select moderated responses or non-moderated responses.
Save and exit.
When you deploy this,
it's going to ask me to give some lesson details.
Now, other students have to give a description. That little heart.
I do have
so
to
if someone else uses observation and think, pair, share, they could click that, and you could see how many people agree with that type of formative assessment technique. When I want to exit the preview on my dashboard, click this teeny tiny I can edit it in the circle in the upper right-hand corner. And I have some other options up here in the 3-dot menu. And when I'm done creating my content or as a self-paced lesson, save and exit. And we'll talk about deploying. It's going to ask me to give some lesson details. In an upcoming I don't have to give a description. I do have to put a grade level, so I'll type or select higher ed right here. And for subject, I'll select other, and then I'll save and exit. Now my activity appears on my dashboard. I can edit it. I can preview it. I have some other options up here in the 3-dot menu. And I can deploy it live or as a self-paced lesson. And we'll talk about deploying Nearpods in a different video. And we'll talk about deploying our lessons in an upcoming video.